Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marotti.
And I'm Mr. USA, Tony Atlas.
It took him a second.
Always does.
Before we get to this great full-length episode of Memories and Legends, check out some of our great friends you can help support the cause to keep more Memories and Legends coming your way.
Infinity Key, a truly natural online language training experience. 25,000 minutes. That's what you'll need to invest. Invest 25,000 minutes with Infinity Key, and we'll build you a portfolio of language experiences designed to accelerate your personal progress. The coach will help you strike the right balance between passive acquisition and active application of your target language. InvestKey's algorithms and coaches guide you along the clearest, quickest path forward on your journey to fluency. Visit www.infinitykey.rocks for more information and follow Infinity Key on Facebook at facebook.com/InfinityKey. Wrestling fans, check out the brand new lapel pin from our friends at Crimson Mask, inspired by Stone Cold Steve Austin and Vince McMahon. It's Bang! $316. Only $8 each or 2 for $12. If you think it makes a great holiday gift, give me a hell yeah. Get yours today at crimsonmask.bigcartel.com.
He is the People's Champion, the Brahma Bull, the Great One. And this,
Finally, The Rock has come back!
is his story. Journey alongside the millions in this definitive guide to
The most electrifying man in sports and entertainment!
See The Rock
It's just a man!
like you've never seen him before.
But The Rock is cooking!
The World of The Rock. Available now.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marotti.
And I'm Mr. USA, Tony Atlas.
Tony, 2018 is literally just hours away from coming to an end, and we couldn't let the year end without saying a special thank you and a hello to our dear friends around the corner and around the world. It's been a great year for you and I.
Yes, it have. And and I want to thank all the people out there for supporting Boston wrestling. It's very rarely that they got any program where us older guys can come and talk about the days when wrestling was wrestling. It wasn't sports entertainment. It wasn't all high spots and bouncing around. It was wrestling. And when I broke into the business, not taking anything away from the wrestlers of today, half of the guys that I have seen on television would not have made it during my day. I came up through a time where you had to pretty much be what you say you were. If you say you was Atlas and you go in the gym and some kid bench press 500, well, you Atlas, so you got to do at least 525.
Right.
So S.D. Jones talked about it a lot in my introduction. That I would go to the gym and I would ask, who's the top guy here? They would tell me, and then I would say, my second question would be, well, how much does he bench press? They would tell me. I would go back there, and I would do more than what that guy did. Then I'd go back to the front desk, and I said, well, you tell him that Tony Atlas came here, and he don't hold the record no more. I still hold the record in the state of Maine, in the 275-pound class.
Really?
After all these years. And I set the record back in 1992.
Wow.
And nobody broke it yet. 575-pound, drug-free, no shirt.
No shirt.
575.
Now, what was the difference with the no shirt? What did that mean?
The shirt enabled you to do at least 100 pounds more.
if you have a shirt on?
Yep, because what it does, when you bring it down, the shirt gets tighter and tighter and tighter. So when you go to push it up, the shirt push it up about right here. So all you got to do is lock it out. But you have to, it's a technique to use the shirt. But if you take the shirt off of most of these guys that set on these rackets, I was in a bench press contest in 1993. And I did 500. The guy lifted with me, he did 500. I went to 550. He went to 550. But his shirt toe, it ripped.
Oh.
So he had to come back without the shirt. They take that 550, he take it off, it dropped on him like a ton of bricks. Couldn't get it off his chest.
Really? Wow.
Couldn't do
Isn't that
500
interesting?
without the shirt.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. You watch all these meets, all these guys got these shirts. With these shirts, give you an idea. I had a buddy of mine that was training for a powerlifting contest, and he take 400 pounds off. He bring it down to his chest, it stopped halfway. We had to push down on the bar to get it down to his chest.
Wow.
It wasn't enough weight to push the weight all the way down.
I would have never had a clue about that.
To me, the bench press shirt is not, you not lifting that. But that ain't you.
All right, Tony.
Guy got a 600-pound bench with a shirt, probably got about a 450 bench without it.
Wow.
See, I did, man, what you call raw.
The things we learn, even on New Year's Eve, we're getting a lesson
Every
in bodybuilding.
powerlifter know that. Anybody into
Well,
powerlifting.
Tony, I think one thing you've learned about me, I'm not a powerlifter.
Yeah, but any powerlifter, everybody out there that ever powerlift or been to a meet, they know what I'm talking about. Everybody got a shirt. And very rarely you see a guy go out there without a shirt.
Well, I tell you, in 2019, some of the fans have suggested, one, that we do that DNA test on you. Our friend Mikey Aragon Robbins down in Willimantic, Connecticut, he wanted to see us do that, where you take the swab and we mail it in, then we get the results of your background.
I'd
from where
love
you
to
were
do that,
born.
yeah.
And another one was, and I don't think this would be humanly possible, Tony. I think you'd need an animator like George Lucas with the Star Wars movies, but to have you, the WWE and Bodybuilding Hall of Famer, try and whip me into shape. I don't know if it could be done. You're not working with much.
Wherever there's a will, there's a way.
Right.
What makes everything work? If I drop one drop of water on this wooden table, one drop has no effect. But if I drop one drop of water every day on that table, constantly, in a year's time, it take an effect. Consistency is the key to success. Most people do not reach their goals because they give up too quickly. They're not willing to hang in there long enough to achieve their goal. And most people don't have what's called discipline. Like if I train a student, I say, look, you eat this, you eat that, you don't eat this, you don't eat that. Working out maximum workout time is 1 hour, 3 days a week. So for anybody to be in the best shape of their life, they have to take 3 hours a week. And most people say, I don't have 3 hours. They do. But the strange thing about a human being, we take care of everything but ourselves.
It's a very good point. You have to make
That's
the time.
why nobody want to go to
take-
the gym, because it's for them.
Take the time for yourself.
Nobody want to take time to say. That's why everybody's so miserable. But the Bible says self-preservation comes first. We make ourselves last. If you're a parent, the kids come first. You come second. If you're a wife, the kids come first, the husband come next, then come the bills, then come the house, then come the car, then come this, and you leave, there's nothing there for you. When you go to the gym, you are the only beneficiary. Ain't nothing you're going to do in that gym that's going to benefit me, not going to benefit Hulk Hogan, not going to benefit John Cena, not going to benefit President Trump. It's only going to benefit you. That's why it's so hard for people to take care of themselves. I asked a person, I said, do you love yourself? They said, yes. I said, how can you love something that you neglect? 90% of a human existence is his body. And it's the most neglected thing on of our health. We don't care about our health. We don't care about the way we look. We don't care about ourselves enough to invest 1 hour a week. We won't even do it 1 hour a week. We said we don't have that 1 hour. But then if we want to go to the movie, we got an hour for that. We want to go to a football game, we got time for that. We want to go out to dinner, we got time for that. You want to go have a beer, we got time for that. Go to a bar, we got time for that. Go to the gym, I ain't got time.
Well, those things are more instant gratification than going to the gym.
Well, my mother told me something else to that too. Anything you don't want, just don't take care of it. You won't have it long.
It's a good philosophy.
Now, how many senior citizens ain't trying to brag or nothing?
Uh-oh, wait a minute. It's New Year's. We haven't even opened the champagne yet, Tony. Come on, brother.
Get this coat off. Now, where that cameraman at? Where that camera? Now, how many senior citizens?
Oh, wait just a minute. Look at the guns.
How many? Now, that's an arm of a senior citizen. That's the arm of a senior citizen. See, now that's the bicep. Look underneath of that tricep right there. Now, if you don't like that tricep, check out that one there. Look at that baby there. Look
wow,
at that.
Tony.
Now, these are arms of a senior citizen. See? Look at Grandpa. This is Grandpa. This is a senior citizen. This is a man pushing 100.
I don't know about that.
But this guy would be 100 years old. Look at that baby. So
the last time I saw something
you don't want, just don't take care of it. You won't have it long. Now, if Paul Orndorff got his head wrapped up in that arm right there, boy, I get his head in that arm right there. I squeeze his head just like a grape. Look at all that stuff going on there, man. Good googa booga. I even got the boobies going. Look at my boobs. There that boobs go. Go up the. Look at here. Sway low. Sweet chariot, I'm for the carrying me home.
Well,
hello.
I tell you, Tony, if Paul Orndorff ever used the word he invented, you really would have squeezed him.
That's right. Oh, yeah, most definitely.
We need to get out Mark Dustin's...
It's been more than a takedown in the crater, I'll tell you that.
We need Mark Dustin's sangria. It is New Year's Eve, Tony. A friend of ours down in Palm Bay, Florida, Reno Chastain, said, you know, a lot of people, they can be lonely on a holiday like New Year's Eve. All right, go ahead.
You can only be lonely if you don't have God in your life.
Yeah. Dude,
see, because God give you your appreciation for things. There's people that got family. I used to sit in the gym, I hear somebody complaining about the country going to hell in a handbasket, America losing this, America that. And I sat there and listened to him talk. Then he go outside, climb into a $65,000 car. $65,000 for one car he gets into. Then he goes to the steakhouse, eat a $20, $30 steak. Then he go home that night to a $250,000 home. But he's unhappy. See? We're losing our appreciation. Anybody that criticize America, I don't care if you're Democrat, I don't care if you're Republican, I don't care if you're the president, I don't care if you're the vice president, I don't care if you're a senator, I don't care if you're in the House of Representatives, I don't care if you're just a regular citizen. You're a jerk. If you don't like the way this country is going, try living somewhere else. I went to Johannesburg, South Africa. And you know how you do your TV station here?
Yes.
In South Africa, you had to get permission from the government.
Wow.
If the government said no, you can't do it. In Nikolai Volkov, God rest his soul, told me himself what he likes more about America than in Russia. It took him, it would take, it must say, 2 to 3 years to get an apartment. See, people always talk about a small government. Russia is a small government. Saddam Hussein was a small government. Iran is a small government. They all small government because they don't have the smaller power to take care of the small things like we do. Things we want to get rid of, everybody else want. Like, for example, the reason most of your Mexicans that come across the border is for one thing and one thing. It ain't the money. They make more money in Mexico than they make here. People that never been there, talk to them, don't know that. And so I asked one of the guys, I said, if you make more money in Mexico, why do you want to come to America? One question: Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare. In Mexico, when you get old, you got no safety net. You have to work until you drop. In America, when you get old, you get a Social Security check. In America, when you get sick, you get Medicare. You can get a care in medicine. So we got a lot of safety net. We got welfare. We got disability. We got a lot of safety net to keep American citizens living a decent life.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? A decent life. Now, in other countries, if you don't have a job, you don't have nothing. I mean, I see people sleeping on the streets and stuff. I see kids back in the 70s now. The parent would break their legs so they could go out, or break their arm so they go out and bag for a living. Wow. So they raise them to be baggers because they figure that there's nothing else for them to do. Education system. When I went to the Caribbean, me and Mario Savodi, you know, we used to go over to, what was we used to go all the time? Aruba and Barbados and all them places. I think you went on a couple of trips with us. Well, anyway, you sat in one classroom all day long. You didn't go to different classes like you do here. The education system is not as good as our education system. The medical is not as good. They style of living. If I have time, I'll tell you a quick story.
Tell us, Tony. It's New Year's Eve, baby. The clock is ticking.
I was in Guatemala, Central America, Guatemala. Me and Don Canuto and Roberto Soto. I remember Roberto was there.
Remember that.
Manuel Soto was there. Don Canuto was there. And Quick Draw, Rick McGraw.
Quick Draw, Rick McGraw.
Rick McGraw I was there. So I had this girl. She was one of what my wife called a shoe girl because she walked on me.
Oh, wait a minute.
And I went out and bought her some tennis shoes, and she walked on me and everything. I took her out for dinner. I took her mother out. I took her father out. I took her brother out. I gave her mother money. I gave her brother money. Her mother, her father, her grandmother. I gave everybody money. Took them shopping. Did everything for them. So we were there for a week. At the end of the week, I wanted to go say goodbye. The mother came to the door. She wouldn't open the door all the way. And then she said, I said, just want to say goodbye. Well, we can't talk to you no more. I said, why is that? She said, because you're a liar. And I said, what did I lie about? She said, my daughter asked you, were you rich? And you told her no. And I said, I'm not rich. She said, there you go lying again. And I said, I'm not lying, I'm not rich. I said, I only make maybe about 100 grand a year. Where I come from, that's not rich. She said, do you have a stove? I go, yes, ma'am. A refrigerator? Yes, ma'am. A car? Yes, ma'am. A phone? Yes, ma'am. She said, how can anybody have so much and not be rich? In America, we have to have more than what we need to feel rich. In Guatemala, if you got just the necessity of life, you are rich. So our perspective of richness, it get greater. You take a guy could have $1 million and be unhappy.
Sure.
A guy can make $100,000 a year, live in a $500,000 house, and drive a $60,000 automobile, and wear $200 shoes, but unhappy every day. Because we, as a country, we're losing our appreciation. See, one of the things that I wish, and I have said this many a time, it still holds. I said it right here on this station, I say it again. I would give anybody $1,000. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to increase it. I give anybody $10,000. $10,000 cash. And I would pay the taxes on it. If they can name one day that we, as a country, give to God. One day. Christmas is coming. Nobody thinking about God. They think about gifts, Santa Claus, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Frosty the Snowman. Everything but God. It's supposed to be his birthday. He's the only.
I think about God.
Yeah, but but that's an individual. I say as a country,
okay.
not as a group. You're going to find a group here, a group there, an individual here, an individual
You might
there.
offend someone if you mention
But
God.
we used to give God 54 days out of a year. We had what we call a Sabbath. For you young people don't know nothing about that. On Sunday was God's day. It was called the Sabbath. And everything was closed. The only place you go on Sunday was church. Like you go around the 60s, the 50s, and we was like that for 350 years. We was a God-fearing country. Let people say, oh, we lose our morals and our value. Well, where in the hell you think they come from? There's no morals in the Constitution. There's no morals in the Bills of Rights. The morals and values that we live by came from the Bible. And if you're not teaching the Bible, you're not teaching morals. Thou should not steal. Where'd that come from? Not the Constitution. It came from the Bible. Thou should not commit adultery. That didn't come from the Bills of Rights. That came from the Bible.
What were the other two
Them are the 10 Commandments.
What were the other 2 days of the year that people would give to God?
Christmas is God's birthday.
Yeah.
And Easter.
Easter,
Easter
right.
was when Jesus risen from the grave in his
54,
resurrection.
yeah.
So we're supposed to celebrate him rising up from the grave, from the dead.
Like Joe Mascolo.
Exactly. Then what them 2 days, Easter was supposed to be, everybody went to church on Easter and praise God. Now we go Easter egg hunt. Everybody used to go to church on, and I tell you what we used to do in our schools all the time too. All the people like from age 60 and up probably remember. Anybody under the age of 60 probably not remember. But about 50 or 60 years ago, we used to do two things. We used to do the Lord's Prayer, our Lord's Prayer, to thank God for our life and living in a great country. And we used to do the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. That's why nobody took a pledge to that flag in the last 60 years. But we did it for 350 years. You want to make America great again? Don't just look at the financial aspect of America. Look at the moral values that made America great. It wasn't our finances. England had a lot of money. A lot of countries got a lot of money. Saudi Arabia got a lot of money, but they don't have moral values. Iraq had a lot of money. Iran got a lot of money. But what set America, we was the example setters for the rest of the world to follow. We fought for freedom and righteousness and human rights all over the world. That was America. That's why everybody looked up to America. We were the world policemen. And people say, oh, we don't want to be the world policeman. Well, who the hell you want to do it? It's going to be one.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be champion, because Hulk Hogan is not the champion no more. It don't mean John Cena don't want to be. And when John Cena want to be champion no more, it don't mean that Brock Lesnar is not going to be champion. You're going to have a champion. So if you're going to have a leader of the free world, I'd rather for us to lead than for us to follow.
Right.
That's just my opinion.
Sure.
You know, but we lost our moral value because we lost God.
I think there's a lot to that.
Where do you think our morals come from? You read the Constitution, you don't see no morals in it.
Well, you know, you have
read
some
the
people
Bills
that
of
are...
Rights. You read the Bills of Rights, you're not going to see morals
What do you
in
say
it.
to the agnostic people of the world?
The who?
The agnostic people.
They're going to always be there. Everybody entitled to their own, in my opinion, everybody is entitled to their own beliefs.
Right.
You're entitled, this is my belief. I'm not telling nobody to believe what I believe or do what I do. But I do know that I was born in an America that put God first.
Right.
You pull out $1 in your pocket, what do it say?
In God we trust.
In God we trust. We put it on everything. Everything. We put God in on everything. But then we don't want to talk about him in public. We don't want to acknowledge him.
It's a catch-22.
We don't want to serve him. We don't want to acknowledge his existence.
Right.
I talk to young kids, nobody go to church. The churches are empty.
They are.
You know? We say we Christians.
Do you go to church?
No.
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 Why?
They talk when I go to church now here lately, I stopped going about a year ago.
Oh, that recently?
About a year
Okay.
ago. Because they don't, well, maybe I need to find another church, but the last year or so, I feel like I'm listening to CNN.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they judgmental.
I think maybe you should try and see a service with the Father Jurgen Leas.
Yes, you're probably right there. But in the Bible it said, judge not, yet ye be judged.
Yeah.
And when I hear minister judging lifestyles of other people,
You don't like it?
I don't like it. And the first time that turned me against, they were talking about gay marriage and how it's an abomination of God and this and that like that. But the way I see it, that's God to judge their lifestyle. It wasn't up to me to judge it. It wasn't up. As long as they came to the church and want to find Christ, then if they doing something wrong in the eyes of Christ, it's for Christ to tell them what they doing is wrong.
I
It was
understand.
not up to Tony Atlas to tell. I have done enough stuff in my past. I just can't talk bad about nobody. I can't. I can't judge nobody. I mean, I did everything underneath the sun, brother.
You want to know, again, this is New Year's Eve here, and we're talking about this, but I think the Catholic Church, with some of the scandals they've swept under the rug, they don't have much room to talk about a lot of things.
Nobody does.
Right.
That's why when Jesus, when they wanted to stone this lady, Jesus said, "He who is without sin, cast the first stone."
All right.
Judge not, yet ye be judged.
All right.
We are not supposed to judge each other. Like we said, they talk about all the Muslims this, all the Arabs this, or the Taliban this, or the blacks this, or the whites this, or and we label people. I see judgmental going on all the time. Where the Democrats this, where the Republican this, where President Trump this, where President Clinton this, where Hillary Clinton this. And we never met none of these people. The Bible also said, thou shalt not bear false witness. Bear false witness. Which means that if you talking about anything that you did not witness, then you bear false witness. You are a false witness. What is a witness? A witness is a person that witnessed something, that experienced something. If you didn't witness it, seen it and experienced it, and you talking about it, then you are sinning. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
All right, Tony. Unbelievable. Again, the journey that these programs go on. We had a question from Richie Liacono up in Danvers, Massachusetts, Tony. You were a man that had been known to dip into substances at certain times during your life. Do you have any memorable New Year's Eve stories?
No.
Never one interesting New Year's Eve in your 60-some years?
No.
Never?
No, we worked all the time.
Well, you haven't been full-time on the road now for a little while.
Yeah, most New Year's Eve, we were driving to the next town.
Well, what about nowadays? What do you do on New Year's Eve?
Sit home, watch football.
Yeah. That's what you and the lovely Mrs. Atlas will be
Yeah,
doing
we
tonight?
sit and watch football. But New Year's Eve, and unless you go out partying, but us wrestlers, we didn't go out partying.
You didn't have a chance to go out to
No,
party.
we didn't.
No.
We did, back in the old days, you had to drive. Because I could be booked in Manhattan one day, then the next day, they want me to come down to Texas.
Right. You had to travel.
Like after WrestleMania, all the wrestlers going to hop on an airplane and go to Europe.
Right. Well, let me ask you this then, Tony. We mentioned Reno had sent us that message from down in Palm Bay, Florida. What word of wisdom would you give to the folks at home that may wish they had a friend or someone to celebrate the night with?
Well, you don't really need people to be happy. You don't need a crutch. Once you start depending on somebody else for your happiness, once you start depending on somebody else it's almost like being on welfare. Once you start depending on the government for survival, you will never provide for yourself. There's so much entertainment in the world. There's so much to do in this great country. If a person don't find a way to celebrate the coming of the new year, that's because that person don't want to celebrate.
You don't think Reno wants to celebrate the
You don't
New
want
Year?
to celebrate. It's too much to do not to be able to celebrate. There's a lot of people you go visit. You go to a movie on New Year's Eve. You go to a nightclub on New Year's Eve. You can sit home and watch a good football game. Enjoy life. Stop and smell the roses.
Reno needs to enjoy life. Is that
If
what
you
you're
here
saying?
to see the New Year come in, you should celebrate that.
All right, fair enough.
How many people, Nikolai ain't going to see it? Nikolai will not see 2019. How many guys this year is not going to see that come in?
Leon.
Think about it.
Leon White.
Leon White is not going to see it coming in. And we could sit here probably name 10
Right.
people that,
Well, we
that
don't
we
wanna
know,
do
that
that,
we
but-
do have talked to and did business with, that would not see the New Year come in. If I see the New Year come in, I'm gonna celebrate.
Well, if nothing else, fans, if you are alone like Reno on New Year's Eve, hopefully we at least, I don't know if we brightened their night, but at least we had kind of an interesting conversation.
Anybody can be happy. Happiness is, you can't look for somebody else. Self-responsibility. If you're unhappy, ask yourself why. You're not homeless. You don't go hungry. You got all you need. You may have to work. You may not have as much as some folks go, though. You got your health. I worked for 3 years with a company that with mentally challenged adults. Mentally challenged adults. And I sat there and looked at them, and I got, my legs work good, my arms work good, my brain worked somewhat good.
Depends on the day.
Yeah, depend on the day. I look at myself, I find no faults. I look at them. Some is in a wheelchair, can't walk. Some foam from the mouth. Some is paralyzed from all the way down. Some don't know Monday from Tuesday. But what I did notice about it, they try very hard, and they always happy. It don't take much to please them. Then I see a normal person. Nothing wrong with his legs. Is in good health. His brain works properly. He fits into society perfectly, and he's miserable as hell. He's ungrateful. Mm-hmm. He could have been. These kids that I work with, I call them kids, but most of them in their 30s and 40s.
Right.
People that born with Down syndrome, they born that way. Kids born with muscular dystrophy, they born that way. See, but they happy with their existence. Where we got everything, we are perfect human beings. Everybody say, well, nobody's perfect. When you work with kids with Down syndrome, you found out that you're a lot more perfect than he is.
Yeah, that's a very valid point.
You see what I'm saying? That's why I don't like the idea of every time they have a mass shooting, they blame mentally ill people. Mentally ill people would not hurt a fly. The people that commit these acts, they're not mentally unstable. It's anger. Anger is a sin. You can let enough anger build up in you that you would do things. Anytime you get angry, you are temporarily insane at that moment. At that moment, that person is temporarily insane. But he wasn't insane yesterday, and he's not going to be insane after the murders he committed. But at that particular moment, yes, he was mentally. There is nothing normal. There's no normalcy about anger. Anger takes us into the abnormalness. Take us to the dark side.
Mm-hmm. God bless. Tom.
Yeah, take us to the dark side. The darker side of our corner. See, when you get angry, at that moment, you become, in my opinion, insane. But to blame insanity, instead of telling it like it is, it's evilness.
Evilness.
Evil. They're just evil. Mean. They're angry and they wanted someone to hurt. They just want to hurt someone. Because stop and think about the people they strike out at are strangers.
Right. Yeah, a lot of the
People
times,
that never done nothing to them. When I look at Sandy Hook, what did a 6-year-old did to this person?
Right.
What in the hell did a 5-year-old do to this person? A 5-year-old, what did they do? Nothing. We see a school shooting and a grown-up go in and kill a bunch of kids. What did them kids do to that grown-up? He's not insane, but it's a
He's
good
angry.
way. It's a good way of facing, of it knowing the issue. The issue is we are losing our moral value. The Bible says, why gain the world and lose your soul? We're losing what make us human. Our consciousness, our soul, our caring for others. We're losing that. We had it for a long time, Had it for a long time. Then all of a sudden we decided to go a different route. That making money on Sunday was more important than thanking God. And from that day on, we had, the people say, all the guns. America was built on guns. Guns been around longer than Tony Atlas. But we didn't have mass shootings. Kids went to school safely.
Well,
What changed? It wasn't the gun that changed it. The guns were around before, long before. You go all the way back to 1500, we had guns.
I tell ya.
1600, we had guns. 1700, we had guns. 1800, we had guns. 1900, we have guns. All of a sudden, the last 20 or 30 years, we got mass shootings. The reason is we don't install in society what we put in society. You could be a drunk, a pimp, a prostitute. You could be the worst scum walking the face of the earth. But on Sunday, you would not drink. You would not do things because you say, I can't do it today. Today is God's day. I hear criminals say that back in the 60s. Today is God's day. Every American knew that Sunday was the Sabbath. Then they took that away. Once they took that away, man lost his consciousness. He lost his feeling towards others. He lost his appreciation for things.
Well, I tell you, Tony.
He lost his happiness.
Reno,
Because that was made us happy.
Reno Chastain was looking for the cure to the blues on New Year's Eve, and you certainly
Go to church. Thank God.
Oh,
Love
Tony,
yourself. Love for yourself. Why are you going to be sad on New Year's Eve when you saw it coming?
One more question before we begin.
He lost his appreciation for life.
Reno Chastain lost his appreciation for life.
He's here. What the hell are you mad about? He's here. I tell you, if he wake up and see his name in the obituary, I bet he'd be pissed off then.
There you go.
He have something to be sad about.
Friend Peter Mortimer from Melrose wanted to know, Tony, he's a man, much like yourself, that enjoys a free meal. What will you be dining on for New Year's Eve? Anything special?
I'm going to have me we're probably going to have lamb.
Lamb. You like the lamb?
Yeah, I like lamb. Yep. I like lamb.
And will you stay up until 12 to ring in the new year?
Nope.
What time do you go to bed?
About 9 or 10.
Oh, really? Okay.
What I want to see it for? I want to wake up in the morning and see it.
You hope. See?
Amen,
See,
brother.
Reno?
Hot diggity,
See,
dog.
Reno?
Now you are.
We're learning,
That's
kid.
right. If I wake up on January the 1st, 2019 and see it roll in, I'm going to be happy. I had a good friend named Scott Epstein. And he celebrated Christmas, and I texted him and wished him a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. The next day, the 26th, day after Christmas, 2013, I get a text. Scott was killed in a car accident.
Oh, wow.
He didn't see 2014. He didn't see it coming.
So it's not guaranteed for any of us.
My mother said, enjoy today, for tomorrow is promised to no one.
All right. Well, Tony, last but not least, any New Year's resolutions for you?
Well,
Other than to come here every week.
every New Year, I try to, I would like to be a brother father to my daughter, a brother grandfather to my grandkids, a brother husband to my wife, and be a better person and more giving person to my community. And if I had any power whatsoever, I may get a lot of heat from saying this, I would like to get, especially of all people, black people, to stop killing each other. With 90% of black homicide, 90% now, is done by blacks. Then they want to blame the policeman. You can't blame the policeman for being nervous in the swamp of Louisiana when the alligators and snakes run all over the place, and expect him to act the same in a Beverly Hills swimming pool. Now, he's in a Beverly Hills swimming pool, of course he's gonna be relaxed. He's in a swamp, if you're in a swimming pool in Beverly Hills and you hear splashing in the water, you're not gonna jump. But you're in the bayou and you hear some splashing in that water, you're gonna jump.
That's a pretty good analogy.
Well, that's how it is. When you walk into an environment that you know that's dangerous. It's like when you go to a public swimming pool, you have no fear of danger.
It's almost like
if you can swim. If you go into the swamp of Louisiana, you're gonna be scared.
Spartanburg on Saturday, January 5th. Be a part of the hype as NXT Live returns with the hottest NXT superstars. See NXT Champion Tommaso Ciampa, NXT Women's Champion Shayna Baszler, Aleister Black, Adam Cole in the Undisputed Era, North American Champion Ricochet, Johnny Gargano, Velveteen Dream, Kairi Sane, and many more up close and in action. Don't miss the show everyone's talking about. It's NXT Live in Spartanburg on Saturday, January 5th. Tickets are available. See the moments
Generation X invades WCW.
you'll always remember. Like never before.
Occupy Raw has taken over.
With Raw, the first 25 years, packed with rare photos, profiles of your favorite superstars, and so much more. From the very first Raw to the 25th anniversary, it's the ultimate guide to WWE's flagship show. Raw, the first 25 years. Available now